Good morning, Billies. Welcome. And this is the morning show. We are live and we thank you for joining us. I am Ernesto and this is Troy on a Tuesday morning. And it looked like you were in.
Say,
Troy, de la bureau.
Karen said,
say Arian.
yes.
Well, Karen no lie, so.
There's a depression out, so.
Yeah, something's coming.
Look out for it, so. And yes, I did not sleep here. For those who are wondering, I want to say pleasant good morning. Glad you could join us this morning wherever you are throughout the length and breadth of this beautiful jewel of ours. And those of you streaming, glad you could join us as well. The Bolido took place last night, Ernesto. 96 played, 9-6.
96.
Yeah, so if you won, congratulations. If not, we say you could try again tonight. Our next draw comes up at 9:10, and it's going to be broadcast right here on Love FM and Love Television. Mm-hmm. Remember, you got to be in it to win it. If you're not in it, you can't expect to win it.
Speaking of being in it, most of this morning, you can be in it. We will have some guests in because we have to tell you where they get some new money. They get some new coins.
New coins.
Yes, I think we've settled down with the new bills. You know how we are. Whenever we try change, some of us will try and resist it.
Well,
but,
if they get it, I don't want it. Send it to me.
I'll take it.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. I'm not that stubborn.
I hear the central bank has this. I call it a habit of destroying all money.
Yeah.
Bills get old. Why did not just give me? Exactly.
I have to go through all that trouble.
Exactly. I use it.
They take it out of circulation and they destroy it. Yes.
I will have to iron it if I have to. I don't matter where though.
Yeah. Rub out the paint. Whatever blemish or mutilation occur, you will cure it, no?
There's always Scotch tape.
Yes, sir. So why not? Why not? Send it over here, man.
We will use it.
Yes, indeed. Oil prices are down under $70 this morning. It's like $69.13. So we are seeing a slow reduction.
Don't expect the prices at the pump to drop that drastically, though.
Yeah, there'll be a long time. Of course, we notice the prices are dropping on the world market, but our chicken price is going up.
Right.
Price of chicken has...
One of the reasons, according to the experts, is because during the war, a lot of the reserves were used. And the U.S. used a lot of its own reserves, so the producers have to fill back those reserves before the prices affect us at the pump. Mm-hmm. And that will take a while.
Yes, indeed. Well, the reality...
One thing we know, it go up, but it not come down.
It not come down. Sticky price.
The chicken price kept going up and up and up. And there is no...
Yeah, it's over the last 5 years or so, it had gone up maybe...
Several times, at least
maybe
4 or 5
times.
Maybe
over $1.50 may have gone up. I wasn't keeping track, but certainly a 10 cent here, 6 cent there, 25 cents here, and that all adds up. Over time.
Yeah.
And
everything has gone up.
Yeah, and you know what that does for the vendors of food, and so that it creates an opportunity for them to increase as well, and to pass on that increase, which drives the lower end of the market downward more. So it's always important that we try to maintain the prices as long as we can so that you can keep your clientele. Otherwise, you price yourself out of the market.
That's right. You have to be very, very careful with that, So what we'll do right now, folks, we'll take a break, we'll come back, and you can join us. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. And we're 22 minutes away from 7 o'clock. And our number is 203-2098. That's our main number. And you can also call us at 203-2281 or 203-0528.
Yes,
And
sir.
join us in our conversation this morning. What's brewing out there? How, if I was to ask you, how popular I think the World Cup is right now in Belize? Carrying very popular.
Oh yeah, it's probably overshadowing most of the standard conversations throughout. It's more than water cooler discussion, I would think, especially persons who are connoisseur of sports, and in particular football. It's the only thing going on right now significantly for most persons. And if you look at the attendance, you look at the viewership, everything is up significantly, because it's been held within the Western media structure, so it makes it more visible, more accessible, because you're having it in a region where you're looking at about half a billion people available or more.
Yeah.
Mexico, Canada, the United States, combine that population together, you look at maybe 600 million people, and then everybody, in terms of accessibility, are able to get to these regions easier.
And this time we have the better timings to watch the games
Exactly.
as opposed to the other side of the world. Hello, Carlo. Good morning. You're on the air. You're on low.
Hi, morning, Ernesto. Morning, Joy.
Good morning.
I wanted to comment on the comments that Ms. Zabane made over the weekend. I thought those were very tone deaf, and it's kind of like advocating for corruption, because if we can't manage $10,000, I mean, what makes you think we're going to be managing $30,000? And actually, right now, $10,000 is a lot more than it was back then. Bills are higher, wages have not increased much over the past years. So to say $10,000 is less in this economy, not many Belizeans feel that, you know. What Belize really needs is an independent watchdog that's comprised of public sector, private, and maybe an elected official or elected officials from the general populace to be able to trigger investigations and recommend criminal investigations against these same politicians, CEOs, because at the end of the day, who's going to be held responsible? The finance officers, right? At the end of the day, the CEOs are going to wash their hands, and so are the ministers. The same song and dance as what happened with Elvin Penner. He went off into the sunset. Some public officers lost their jobs, washed their hands, and we're right back at it again.
Yeah.
Nothing changed.
Yeah.
And that brings me to another point. The Prime Minister saying that the UDP didn't act. They kicked out Elvin Penner. I believe there was a scandal also with Gaspar Vega, and he was promptly removed right after. We really haven't been seeing those moves from this administration. But thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Okay.
I think the caller might be alluding to a statement that Miss
Miss
Isabella Zabane, I think, Miss Belize, I would say, until she gives up her crown, because the whole universe is finished. So.
Apparently not. They said that she will continue doing her, even though the franchise is no longer held in Belize.
No, I'm saying
This
she
year.
still is Miss Belize.
Miss Belize, yeah.
Yes, but as far as universe is concerned, that contest is done and gone.
Yeah.
So the relevance of that to
That's
her
true, that's
is
true.
not here nor there. Made a statement that they would like the threshold to be increased. We heard that from Honorable Andrea Perez as well. I am not of the same opinion.
No,
I made that,
I think they're missing
made
the
that clear completely.
They are missing
that,
the point.
It is not
Yeah.
the right time to even talk about that until, at least for me, let's see what the audit reveals, whether we got value for money, whether the protocols were followed. Like we said, whatever has been put out in the public domain doesn't look good. and certainly the optics of it is not good, and it gives room for speculations, and therefore the best thing is what has been discussed more is how can we put this horse back in the corral, meaning as was being suggested, you find maybe a central procurement system, you have more transparency built into that system by putting out all the tenders, who get it, and all of that way ahead of time, and be able to tighten up the Finance and Audit Reform Act, maybe even tighten up the legislation that governs the Auditor General, so that they don't give her the runaround, so she can be more current with her audit. You can't be 10 years behind,
Well,
because audit is already after the fact.
We'll go back to the JPAC, right?
Yeah, but the
It starts there.
JPAC needs the Auditor General
That's what I'm
report, so
saying.
the JPAC is useless without the Auditor
but
General
that
report.
is supposed to be the independent, basically governing
Yeah.
body that will see how our money is spent. Period.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can't even start there, you know,
Mm.
the point is that it is a case of trying to rebuild trust
Mm-hmm.
and confidence in the system. And when years after you hear politicians kind of admitting, not fully, kind of admitting, you know, I think we've been spending this money, you know. So let's create a buffer or create a wall here so this doesn't happen again.
Mm-hmm.
That does, you know, it's like an unfaithful spouse.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I know do it again, but deep down you don't do it already. You know? I can't trust you.
Well, remember, you know, we've been saying a long time, this is not the first time the whole issue of audits has come up.
Keeps coming up.
We put the Auditor General on tenure. We went through a long period of time where we didn't even have an Auditor General, you know, and then we were dealing with small snippets of keeping the old one still on staff, and then they were going through their own internal turmoils, and so we weren't getting value for money. And so, and then every time you read the Auditor General's report,
It's
we
lacking.
requested this, we requested that, and the public officers, they don't respect and they don't provide it. So I am believing that you need to put some teeth in that piece of legislation, that if the Auditor General asks you for the information and you don't give it, then there's hell to pay. There must be some penalty that you, the public officer, must go through, because what is keeping you from conceding those information to the Auditor General?
That takes me to an even further look at the whole, what we call it, the job description of a public officer. Because we get this impression you can't fire a public officer, right?
That's not true.
Well, you could, but you have to go through a process.
Everything has
I
a
mean,
process.
Well, it's, you know, some will tell you bring it closer to how we handle it in private business, you know, but it's a completely different game.
You see, one of the
can't-
things
ahead.
I want to say before you continue, because that's where people get lost, and I try to educate. Because it's important. Government don't try to tell you how you're governed. Public officers are governed by an agreement and a document agreed by the union and the government called the Public Service Regulations.
Right.
Right? And that regulation is how public officers are governed. And so we don't muddy the waters. So India has things like minor misconduct, major misconduct. They have different classification and what can be done as a result. So what needs to happen is, if you want to become private sector structured and just deal with labor laws, then you abolish the Public Service Regulation. But the public service won't want that.
That's right.
So we must first start there and understand that public officers, but it's not to say that if somebody does something egregious, what must happen, CEOs and other administrative officers have to do their job too. Just like when a crime gets committed, the police can't just run and say,
Arrest you and lock you up.
well, he could do that, but he'll lose the case when he get to court if you not put a proper case together. So you have to put your case together. So if Ernesto is
But that's
stealing,
where the
I can't just-
red tape, the red card is.
I can't just in the private sector, I can terminate you without giving you any. I can't dismiss you, because if I dismiss you by law, I have to give you reason. If I terminate you, services no longer required. That's fine. But in the public service, because of the regulation, there is due process.
Right.
Right? And it has nothing to do with any individual
But then-
having to you
okay.
putting your case together. And public officers have been sent home as a result of good CEOs, good administrative officer building
But
their
is
case.
sent home being fired?
Yes, dismiss.
That's what you mean, dismiss?
Dismiss. And when you get dismissed, you go home without any access to your pension.
Right. We have had cases. I mean, just recently we had a case of the money at the National Celebrations Committee. Monies were, this had broken a while back. When the minister referred to it, all he said is, we have dealt with the culprits, We don't ask him, dealt how? What I understand, they get transferred or they get moved somewhere else. If you're in the private sector, are you misappropriate, or you actually take, I'm going to be gentle here and not say steal, $10,000. You're not going to be moved to another department. You're immediately dishonest. Immediately, I can't trust you, you're fired, I go look for another job.
But that got nothing to do with the public service. That's a decision they made as managers. They made that internally as managers.
That happens a lot.
But that is not the system failing.
Failure. No, I know.
That is you as the manager, meaning you the CEO, you who the administrator, maybe even you the minister, making a decision that this is what you're going to do. I heard what the minister said. They paid back the money, and as a result, we got rid of one.
We didn't even know how much money.
Well, that's the whole point. The point is that we need to have that discussion differently, but that's a decision not built on even implementing the regulation. Now, I think that this whole niche thing, there is a semi-quasi structure as well that makes the whole
but this
look
comes up
of that
this comes
differently.
up often enough in different departments across the government system.
It's just like a bank.
Money is being moved
When people steal money at the bank, most of the time the bank doesn't make any noise about it.
Because it's their reputation or their security.
They may dismiss the officer, but they don't. There is
but
no
they're not
fanfare.
going to keep that person. No, I know, but they're not keeping that person.
But the point is that's a decision. Any of these decisions where an individual don't even go in front of any tribunal to be able to be heard or the matter adjudicated on. That's a decision made because nobody in the public service. You have the Public Service Commission who hires and who has the power to hire and fire. But if the commission doesn't know something happened there and it's not brought to the commission, so what do you want the commission to do?
Right.
So the accounting officers, they have to be more vigilant. Their job is to ensure that the integrity and the funds of the government they are entrusted with is secure, not only in procedure, but when there's infraction, that you make sure that those individuals pay the price. I've always said here, and we talk with the Minister of the Public Service in saying, listen, you might be able to get somebody criminally, but we still don't get back the money. They may get 6 months or a year in jail, and we still owe a couple $100,000.
That's right.
So now government has to make a concerted effort to continue to pursue civilly to get back that money. And I use the example of Ivan Ayuso from the Sports Council.
Who is, I think is...
those we have to pursue.
Hello, caller. Good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, Ernesto and Troy. This is Dr. Williams hailing out of PG now.
Oh, all right.
Now you're in PG?
You change your jurisdiction.
You don't want to go back home now?
Boy, I tell you,
listen to me, man. Don't make Ernesto set you up. You should have said, I am home.
Well, I tell you, I'm a man of two countries. So
all right.
Dance, rock and roll and dance reggae.
All right, there you go.
Yes, multi-talented.
Right, so, this this morning on the hit one really, really important topic, boy. I want to take it from, I want to give one 2 pointers, then you guys just continue discussing. Economics are two factors, efficiency and distribution. I always say that when I get on the show. Full problem right now, the efficiency in the sense that they question when you fire people, if there is a need, and the public sector based on laws. So you got HR, public sector laws, and you could fire people, but you have to fire people within the realm of the law, correct? You can't do certain things. And so if they find it, Ernesto, I hear you earlier, if they find it literally the tech that coffers money and they could prove it, you can be fired. That is true. But there's a process, and I'll tell you, I work at a big university, and the only way you can get fired instantly is if you do something against the law with blatant. But if they're like only accusation of something small, you have to go through a whole process before they can fire you. So the public sector got that challenge. But I want to left something we don't do this morning. Whenever there's a problem, and there's a lot of problems with corruption all over the world, including Belize, you ask the question, Troy, can you manage a long time, and Ernesto, you got your own business. Is it a problem with the system, or is it a problem with the human being where you to deal with? And many times it could be the system 80% and 20% the person, or it could be a little of both. So you have to ask that question. When I used to run marketing board, I always ask that question. Is it because I know got a good system in place and therefore they take advantage of it? Or is it because a human being is really a cook and we have to get rid of him? And by the way, I had to fire 2 or 3 people because of not following proper procedures and after giving them due notice. So it's a real complicated story, but I don't want people to believe that what happened here. And by the way, so, Troy, I want to throw something at you. Benchmarking is a good thing, but if I raise the benchmark from $10,000 and I carry it to $100,000, guess what they do?
Let's carry it up.
They make the transactions 99 or 98 or 95,000.
Yeah.
So that is not the solution to the problem that we are facing. Maybe we need more monitoring.
Right.
Well, I like the part you brought about the human factor as well as the rules and regulations, because that's exactly the situation here. You know, the audit, as far as I see, the audit that's going on is only dealing with the rules and regulations. Who is dealing with the human characteristics? Are we looking at that? Because they could easily come back and say, look, we didn't really break any rules, you know. You could do 10, 15 a day at under $10,000 because people want to get paid. Okay, we're not do that anymore. But if you deliberately did that to benefit your cronies, something is wrong there. With your character.
Absolutely. And if you never do anything wrong, you just bill below the threshold, then you don't got nothing to fear.
Exactly.
But the trouble is
but the optics is the optics that
the optics of this.
Right now, Doc, what we're talking about primarily until the audit is concluded to try to bring some sort of light whether or not we got value for money, whether or not the protocols were followed.
Exactly.
Right now, it's just what the optics look like, that it doesn't look like it was a normal transaction why you had to do it this way. So it allows you to speculate.
Yeah. If they did 100 under $10,000 payments to 5 different companies,
exactly,
you wouldn't have the same optics. You would say, okay, they manipulated the system so these people get paid.
right?
But this is to feed
There is
just
another
one or
point
two
But
people.
remember, I want to add Doc, and
Right.
Ernesto used a word, manipulation, or manipulated. But the system allow for it. It's not me.
Yes.
It's not me
Yeah.
trying to do anything
No.
that is abnormal, other than following a rule that the rule says I can do this, and it is and
Right.
it is not wrong. No,
Right.
I continue
The
to say
audit could come back with that.
If the audit say you buy a vehicle for 50,000 and you had 5 payments, but the vehicle is there and I could see it, and I think it might be a few dollars more, but I know here nor there. But say I got it in inventory. No.
Sure.
Again, we are dealing with perishables like vegetable, which is one of the primary things that keep popping
That's
up.
right.
You have to
Yep.
go. You have to
have
go
to-
back to the receiving source, look at all the source documents, and verify whether or not that person said, "I may deliver 100 pounds for so much," and if somebody sign off and say, "Yes, I get it," then the matter. Well, you can't do anything about that. You could.
Exactly.
But I could, looking at the audit, I could also look if these payments were done, which maybe within, like you said, the regulations allow for it. But I could find out if I could have bought this tomato from other suppliers.
But
That-
I not got to contract with you.
That-
I
and
choose
that's-
to get it from this person. That's a
Right.
right. I have to buy it from who I want because
But
that
that's
is
a-
also part of the system.
Right.
The system
Yeah,
say
yeah.
you could choose
But
the
are, we,
provider.
but are we looking at that part in the audit? Will the audit look at
well,
that?
you have-
that
yeah,
tenders were issued?
Well,
that,
protocol.
you know,
I use the word protocol. Did you follow the right protocol? Because some of them might
you
be
guys-
just.
Anyway, Doc, go ahead.
Thanks, Doc.
Yeah, the audit is vital to show to the people, the taxpayers, that the money was spent properly. And
Right.
if it's not spent properly, then that won't come out with the audit. But the audit has to be done professionally. If I were to make one more comment on this, the answer is the finance man doesn't the man check if the product gets, he only pay the bill. So somebody else see that system within the government should have said, yes, the tomatoes came or the cabbage came, and so that the payment is in order. You have to have two levels to verify, and that's why the monitoring part maybe never as strong as it should be. So the bills come and you pay them because it's within the guidelines. However, that don't mean you get value. That just means you get a bill.
Mm-hmm.
That's
That's
a real
true.
concern. So somebody in the audit have to say, yes, my tomatoes came, or they bill 5 times to one set, and it's done properly.
I don't think that
But
happened.
the country needs to know, because the taxpayer money at the end of the day, and I applaud everybody who work on it and wants to say how to do it. At the end of the day, we have to improve the system. I firmly believe that I blend a system more so than person, but it could be both.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
All right, so I'll let you with that. But this is, once it's taxpayers' money and in these huge quantities, you have to be able to have accountability, or else then we don't trust the system at all, and we basically
Well, we
live
don't.
in a country where system is
That's
important.
unfortunately, we don't trust the system.
Yeah.
I know, boy, but we have to have some confidence.
We have to build back the
because we can't
credibility.
Credibility, right? So let's hope that. I
But
see
we
everybody
go
asks
we go back to the human factor that you mentioned.
Correct.
How much does character imply here? Nepotism, corruption. The system may allow you to do this, but I can use the system to benefit Troy.
So, exactly. And so the discussion, the media, the fourth arm of government, if you want to call it that, has to discuss it, has to bring it up responsibly
right.
and factually to be able for the people to understand how the money is spent properly. So I take it professionally.
Yeah.
Efficiency means no way. Distribution are a whole different topic where we can discuss at another time. But right now, corruption, the anti-efficiency, you know that, right?
Yes.
So our
it
lesson
has a
at that
cost.
high level,
Okay.
you guys deal with the micro level. Troy, this is your baby, but at the
Yeah.
same time, you have to stay as a journalist professional. What do you say?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
You guys take care, man.
You too.
Thanks, and enjoy PG.
I sure will. PG ready right now, but rain good too,
Yes,
Wait, the
man.
rain at PG, they said they rain.
Italy's overcast with little
Okay.
weather, but it rain a little bit,
Trust
nothing
me,
heavy.
Okay.
then get the most rain.
Yep. You
Okay,
guys
sir.
take care.
Okay, Doc.
All the best.
Yeah. 2 minutes after 7 o'clock, we take a break. We'll be back with our guests.
Introducing GrowWatt, a global leader in distributed energy solutions, delivering innovative solar technology trusted around the world. Engineered for reliable
Once again, good morning. 6 minutes after 7 o'clock. This is The Morning Show, live from our studios in Belize City with Ernesto and Troy. And this morning we're taking a look at, should I call it new money?
New coins,
New
new money.
coins.
Yes, of course, it's money. It's
That's
money.
right.
It's money. You can
know.
you can make a purchase with this, and if you're short of one say, you can't buy.
Only
So I know the
recently
money
we
good.
were talking about new dollar bills, the new
Last year?
yeah.
Yeah, it's
Last
like
year.
one year.
It was
I think-
introduced,
Yeah,
and now
I think it was in
It's-
September.
it's
I think
part
they
of our lives.
introduced the
August.
August, September, the new dollar bills. And like I said earlier, anybody is uncomfortable with those, we could drop it off for
that's
us.
right.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, we were talking earlier that we understand the central bank destroys all money. You do that sometimes, right?
Yes, yes. So when
I could take it off your hands. I mean, you
Yeah, I go through all that trouble.
Yeah, I got those big bin Homer that put it in there, you know.
We're dining with folks from the central bank, of course. We have Delroy Rayburn and Emmanuel Pitch, and we also have Severino Spagnolo.
Spagnolo.
Yes.
Delroy is the Assistant Manager, Currency Management, Banking, Investment and Currency Department at the Central Bank of Belize. Emmanuel Pitch is Assistant Manager, Office of Strategy Management at the bank. And visiting is Severino Spagnolo, Senior Sales Manager, Foreign Circulation, Royal Canadian Mint. Good morning, sir.
morning,
Good morning to you, gentlemen. Good morning.
First question for you, Severino. You sure some of this didn't fall, when you're making money? In factories, peace drop on the side, things like that.
No,
How secure does this mint have to be when it's making? Because you don't make only money produce for Belize. You make for other countries too, right?
correct.
That's your business.
That is our business, and we are quite active on the international stage. Our primary mandate is to produce coins for Canada and Canadian circulation, which we do effectively and efficiently, of course. But in addition to that, we also manufacture coins and support different central banks on denomination structure modernization and produce their coins and their currency for them. And currently today we've produced for over 85 countries globally,
Okay.
and we are quite active in this region as well, and work with quite a few of your neighbors. And we've successfully done that for many, many years, and I do believe that that's one of the main bases on why the central bank chose us to work with them for this new coin series, because of our experience and our dedication delivering excellence to customers. So yeah, we are an industry leader, and if you ever come to Canada or visit our Winnipeg facility, you can see how clean and precise the whole minting process is.
I had the
It's
pleasure of
quite
visiting
spectacular.
one of these, a very small one in Africa. And it wasn't that clean. But anyway.
You mean you had things on the floor that you could have picked up?
Yeah,
on?
they print their own money. How long does it take from beginning to actually getting it to the country to produce one of these coins? What's the average time?
Sure. Well, the average timeline varies quite significantly depending on the project and the scope of the work. This year is something that was quite special and unique because it's not just a remint of coins. This is a brand new design, which we gave a lot of thought into the national symbols, the theme, the durability, the security, the specifications, the technology, right? So this specific project we've been working on for a couple of years now, and even before that, the central bank was putting the stepping stones in place to choose a supplier and choose a mint to collaborate with on this national project and this special project. So, for this, it's been a couple of years, but we've designed everything, and the implementation process as well is a big process.
So you
and
do all
we'll-
that? You design,
Yeah, we've designed
design, drawing, you
everything from start to finish. We're
Creating the samples.
making the samples for sure, and a lot of feedback from the central bank as well, right? It's a collaborative process where we work hand in hand to make sure that the public and the central bank and the citizens of Belize get exactly what they should be getting and get a product that speaks about Belize and about the pride that the country has itself, right? So,
Okay.
we are fully integrated and we do everything from A to Z on the minting and manufacturing side. So.
Okay.
How you go about in terms of looking at the material before we get into the central bank and the distribution process and so? But I wanted to how you choose the various material. If you look at the new dollar coin, it certainly have a different color and possible texture than the existing one that we're currently using. How you go about deciding on what material to make it out of?
Sure. So, well, your existing coins or current coins have been in circulation for quite some time, right? And over time, we come up with new minting technologies that are more advanced and more cost-effective, more cost-efficient as well, right? So, what you see here in the new coin series are nickel-plated steel coins and a new bronze-plated steel coin, right? So, we've transitioned from previous alloy-based products to a more current and modern plated steel solution. Now, specifically for the $1 coin, it was designed with a bronze plating. This way we can achieve a different color, right? The $1 Belize coin is the flagship. It's a top denomination currently, and we wanted to distinguish that coin a little bit differently from the rest of the denomination structure, which is why you see that beautiful bronze featured color as it stands out for your $1 coin.
Excellent.
Yeah, you mentioned cost.
Yes.
Like any product, we're actually buying something and we have to pay for it. Now, in my country, this is 50 cents. How much did I pay you to make this 50 cents?
That's a great question. Personally, I didn't get paid anything, right? But of course, the production cost and the whole premise of this exercise was to significantly reduce costs from your current circulation coinage, right?
Yes.
And by transitioning from an expensive alloy-based product,
Right.
we've brought to the central bank a more durable, a more secure, a more cost-effective solution in the plated steel, and it's roughly about 30% cheaper than your current. Your
Because
current
there was,
products.
I think it's the United States deciding to get rid of their 1 cent because it's costing them 5 cents to make it. Are we having the same issue here? Is it costing us more than 1 cent to make this 1 cent coin?
Yes, the 1 cent is the only coin where it costs more than the face value.
Right.
So, like you mentioned, the U.S. recently decided to get rid of their 1 cent for that very reason. A lot of countries have been doing that.
Yeah.
For us, it's still something that we need to assess because doing something like that is a process in itself that would affect the entire public.
We have to round down our
yeah.
prices
Yes,
and
yes,
all that,
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not easy to do.
And it's still a widely used coin in Belize.
Yeah, it still is. It
Yes,
still is.
yes.
When you look at this whole process, give us a little insight of what triggered the need for change, and then how you go about implementing and getting this whole process done.
Well, we actually started looking at both the banknotes and currency when Queen Elizabeth II passed in 2022. Traditionally, if a monarch passes, you need to replace their image and their effigy on the currency. So that's when we started this whole process. So we decided that we would have started with the banknotes first because those are more widely used. During that process, as we looked at what the designs were for the banknotes, we wanted something for the coins that would complement it. So as you know, the banknotes celebrated our national heroes. National identity was a big theme there. So we decided that a fitting theme for the coins would have been the national symbols. The national symbols are actually on the banknotes as well, but not as prominent.
Yeah.
Right.
So with the coins, they're clearly on display. You can see all of them. So we feel like this was a fitting theme to complement those banknotes.
And so go ahead.
Add that we've reached a stage where we are. I think me personally, as a Belizean, I'm very proud and the central bank is also very proud to be introducing this new set of coins because for the first time ever, the full set of Belizean coins represents Belizean national identity, right? And that's something to be proud of. And like Delroy says, this complements the banknote series that was introduced in 2025. so that now we are presenting a fully unified Belizean set of currency. And that's something to be celebrated. And the theme for the new coin, the launch of the new coin series is Belize in every coin. And what we're
Okay.
essentially saying by this is that once entered into circulation, people, once they start transacting with the coins, they will physically have a piece of Belize, a piece of our history, our heritage, in every single coin that they use. And what's more, for us to celebrate and mark this special occasion, we're also introducing a limited edition painted 50-cent coin that you guys got a chance to see earlier. And
Yeah.
this is a limited edition, and it is a commemorative piece. It is a collector's item that will be introduced, and
The
it's
one, the
specially
one,
made.
the one with the tree.
The mahogany
in color.
tree.
This is cool.
Yes,
I like it.
and it's the first time ever in the
Yeah.
history of Belize that we're introducing something like this. So it's something to commemorate.
But this
and
can be
celebrate.
used interchangeably.
It is worth 50
50
cents.
cents.
It is worth 50
Okay.
cents, but as I said earlier,
But
it's a
it's a
collector's
limited-
item.
it's a limited-
It's a limited
Yeah.
edition, right?
Yeah.
It's a collector's item.
Will this be available for sale or something like that?
Yeah, available for sale in several different packaging
Yeah.
options, like for example, coin rolls and other premier sets, right? So
In terms
Okay.
of the old coins, obviously those will run simultaneously with these.
Yes, correct.
So just for the general public to understand that the value remain the same. Old dollar coin and the
Yeah.
new dollar coin, it's the same value.
Yeah, that's correct. So the old coin series will remain legal tender. You will continue to see those co-circulating with this new series when they enter circulation later in September. Coins, as you know, have a much longer life than banknotes. So with the banknotes, we saw a quick phasing out. I think by now it's very rare that you get a banknote with
Yeah,
a
I
queen
was
on
going
it.
to tell you that.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
just like that.
Less than a
so,
year.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Imagine.
So we do expect that over time the old series of coins you'll start seeing them less, but it might take much longer than the banknotes.
Indeed.
Yeah.
How do you decide how many to mint at one time?
We look at the demand from the commercial banks. So we normally maintain a specific set of supply in country, just for hurricanes, things of that nature now. So that's something that we considered. We look at the demand over the past few years, and based on what that demand was, then we calculated how much we would have needed to order. Yeah.
In terms of production, Severino, what time span in terms of production time? I think it's a very interesting thought process in terms of natural disaster and different things like that. That we would still need to conduct businesses internally, but we might have issues where supply might run low. How quickly you're able to deliver?
Yeah, that's a great question. So a coin manufacturing process, on average, typically takes, call it 8 to 9 months. From the green light to say go ahead when you make the raw materials, put into production, the blanking, plating, annealing, so on and so forth. But we work very closely with our partners to ensure that there is never a shortage of coins
Okay.
for your country, right? So there are different procedures in place that we have worked together with the central banks and with various customers around the globe to ensure that we could quickly respond to demand in scenarios of a natural disaster or crisis as such. So we always manage that inventory very closely and have dedicated teams back home that are always looking at the inventory balances and working together with our friends at the central
And
bank.
so once there's a threshold, that forms a trigger to start the process to get the new coins online.
Sure, more or less. And there's also usually a contingency volume that we'll keep in the background just in case something like this
Okay,
happens, so we
okay,
can respond
okay.
quickly and ensure there is never a shortage.
Who keeps the molds? We do or you do?
The molds, those are
those-
they're under secure
those
storage
have to
at
be
the Canadian
secured,
Mint,
yeah.
of course, but they are owned by the central bank. of
Emmanuel
Bulgaria.
needs to keep them under his mattress or somewhere.
Our facility has extensive security measures, so it's quite impressive.
How
for
long
sure.
have we been using the Canadian Mint?
The Canadian Mint is actually a new partner
That's
for
what I
us.
thought,
So
yeah.
traditionally, the Royal Mint in the UK has always minted Belize coins. A few years ago, they decided to exit the international market for minting of coins,
Okay.
and that created the need of finding a new supplier. So we did a tender process, and the Canadian Mint was determined to be the successful.
Because there are not many of you, are there?
For international mints, it is a little bit more a smaller niche
Yeah.
market for sure. But as Delroy said, kudos to the central bank who ran a very elaborate and competitive tendering process where we were fortunate that our expertise was viewed and we were selected to be the partner in this. But we are definitely one of the largest mints in the industry and across the globe currently.
Yeah, because the notes, the paper notes are still produced in the UK, right?
Yes, by Dollaroo.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
When you look at the whole collectors market for coins, I know it's a huge market. What's the experience like from the central bank in terms of persons collecting maybe Belize coins? Is there a market?
Numismatists.
Is there a market
Yeah.
that you're kind of aware of, or is it budding, or is it non-existent?
Yes, there is a market for collectors for both banknotes and coins. So it's something that we do see, and that's one of the reasons why we decided to do this special limited edition painted coin, because of that interest we see out there. Like Emmanuel mentioned earlier, we're offering collector sets. I believe it's 3 different collector sets that we'll have available in September, and people can visit our website and learn more about those in the coming weeks.
Okay.
I will say that it's very popular with people that visit us. Tourists
Yeah.
sometimes trickle into the central bank to purchase numismatic coins.
Uh-huh.
So there definitely is a market for it.
In terms of pricing and so, what's the range for a set or a package?
Well,
And
we
what's-
still will be sharing that information
Okay,
closer
still.
to the time. It's not available as yet, but it will be available around September. So we'll be issuing out more information closer to
How
the
about
time.
the old coins? Are there sets that could be obtained as well? Because again, that has some value because of the fact that it's at some
Yeah.
point will go out of circulation.
Yeah.
There are special sets as well, and as well individual numismatic coins that you all can purchase. But I wouldn't want to give you incorrect numbers right now.
Yeah.
So I would advise if anyone is interested, they could visit our website to get more information on how the process for purchasing these items.
Yeah,
and the
because
pricing.
you make mention that the 50 cents is with the color is a collector's item.
Correct.
And so basically you're kind of already thinking about those persons who may want to, for some sort of posterity, have
Yeah.
Yeah.
these around. In terms of packaging and so, you talk about it. Is it done in such a way that it is can be displayed and used as a,
Correct,
as
correct.
a
That's the idea.
conversation piece?
Correct. That's the idea with the collector's piece. You want it pristine, you want it preserved. It's something to be displayed and be treasured, right? So it is preserved, and the packaging does ensure that the quality of it is preserved for a long period of time.
When you launched the paper notes, of course, there was a huge amount of discussions and awareness and public relations. Will it be as intense for these coins, or because it's a little bit less conspicuous, that you wouldn't be as elaborate?
Well, we are always trying to inform the public, regardless of any initiative that we do, and this, of course, is very engaging with the customers. So, of course, over the coming weeks, we will be launching a comprehensive public education campaign and a social media campaign, because we know everyone is on social media these days. So you'll be seeing more information from us, more sensitization campaigns from us over the coming weeks and leading up to circulation dates. So also I want to encourage viewers, if you want more information about the coins, you can always visit the Central Bank website at centralbank.org.bz. We have our coin gallery, digital coin gallery on our website. You can visit it, find out more information, get detailed specification about the size, the weighting, the dimensions, everything, as well as get resources, educational resources, posters, brochures, presentations, anything that you might need. And if you are an organization or a business that's looking to share this information with your staff or your customers, we also have, you can also message the currency management team at currencymanagement at centralbank.org.bz, or you can request certain printed collateral that is also in line with public education, right? So we have all of those resources available.
The banks, obviously you said you studied them. When you come up with the design or when you worked at it, was there any consultation with them, or just basically they will get the information just like us in the same token?
Well, we do have conversations with the bank outside of the public domains because we need to ensure that they are ready for the launch. So certain things they need to put into place beforehand. In terms of determining the design, that was done in collaboration with the central bank and with the design experts from the Royal Canadian Mint. That was a process that took almost 2 years, like Severino mentioned earlier.
Okay.
There was various versions of the design before we got to this final point. Some things may have looked great on paper. When you saw the samples, then you realize, okay, this might not translate well. So we went back to the drawing board and did some alterations until we got to this final version you're seeing today.
Roy, how much is all this digital push, this digital wallet affecting? Are you seeing any decrease in demand on the paper money and
Currency,
the coins? Are we feeling that yet or not yet?
Not immediately.
Yeah.
So we do expect that over time when the instant payment system launches, which would be in the next couple of years, that we will see an increase in digital transactions. So you might see that cash transactions start decreasing over time, but there will always be a need for cash. Some transactions must be done in cash. When you think of students, small purchases, the taco stand, like you mentioned earlier, you might need to do those transactions in cash, right? So maybe in the future, we might need to print less banknotes, mint less coins, but it won't go away. It will always
Severino,
be
is that
a means of
affecting you already?
payment.
Because
Not really. What we've seen is,
more
we're still
globally.
here, and we have a global presence. So what we see internationally is coin demand still remains quite high, and although there might be a little bit less coin usage or cash usage, it still remains very relevant in today's society because consumers and the public always want to have various means of payment methods, right? And for us, and the central bank, is to ensure the public has a choice on how they choose to pay. Right, so we make the methods available, and like Delroy says, we're supporting the economy, we're supporting the public, we're allowing them to choose which payment methods they
So
wish
far,
to use.
cash is still king.
Yes.
Cash is still
Well,
king, for sure.
whenever I travel to the U.S. now, I get frowned upon. I pull out my $50 bill, and they have to call the president to see if it's still good and all. And I get this feeling now that everything in Europe, for instance, so you just stop, and the payment is made. Nobody walks around with money as such.
With cash.
And I get a feeling that it's being used less and less, especially by this new generation.
Yeah, it varies really across regions and different people, I guess, as well, right? Because there are quite a bit of people across the globe who are still unbanked, right? And that unbanked population doesn't have access to a bank account or credit cards or tap payment methods, right? So, for them, cash is definitely still king, and different experiences for different people, right? I'll go to places and they only accept cash, right? So I think it really depends on the person itself or the situation.
What you notice more in the urban setting is where the digitization is more prevalent. And like you talk about the areas, especially in the rural areas where persons are unbanked, it's a little bit more less presence.
Right.
So it takes a while for that to occur.
Right.
But you talk about the instant payment. I know it's not one of the forte, but that certainly, as far as the urban setting is concerned, will have a significant impact because that will add more confidence to persons receiving payment or transfers that are immediate compared to other jurisdictions as well.
Yeah.
My last question on this, in terms of the various challenges that persons face, what features are placed in? I know on the paper bills you kind of create some raised areas for persons who had was visually challenged. I know this have a lot of imprint on there. What thought went into the design for that segment of the population as well, and that it didn't get confused with all the other things that are written on there.
Well, they're all different sizes and shapes, you know.
Yeah.
If
So
you look at it.
I'd
You
say
could
those
tell-
are
you could
kind of the
tell.
primary
You could tell, yeah.
distinguishing
So,
factors.
that was one of the thought process that went into.
For sure.
Yeah.
And the part of the process was to make sure there was a seamless integration between the old coins and the new coins. So there are varying similarities between the current denominations and the ones that are being introduced here today. But as well, the edge profiles are a little bit different as well. So if you feel it on the edges of the coins, you could help tell the difference between them. So yeah, it was definitely taken into consideration for sure.
Right.
Excellent,
The 10
excellent.
cents is tiny as usual.
Well, we wanted some familiarity, so the coins, they maintain largely the same dimensions
same
as the old
dimensions,
ones.
yeah.
I think the biggest change you'll notice is the 1 cent. That it was previously a scallop-shaped coin, now it's a
Yeah.
10-sided coin.
Well, it still has its,
Yes. Yeah.
you know, still is. You can tell if you go back in
penny.
history. Remember we used to call the brass jan or the copper, because the
the
1
1
cent was
cent, yeah.
actually made of pure copper.
Copper.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, those days are gone, right?
Especially with the cost of copper for sure.
Yeah.
The
We need to
silver
get
was
the
real
time.
silver.
Yeah,
right.
because we used to
Yeah.
call it a nickel because
Yeah.
it was actually
The
nickel.
real mineral. Now you have
Mineral they
alloys
use.
and
Yeah.
Yeah.
you
But-
feel the weight is lighter,
It's
Yes,
which is
yes.
better.
It's a modern age, and
Yes.
the new
Aluminum.
coins present a
Yes.
new modern design,
Yeah.
right? So we're getting with the times.
Yeah.
That's
people-
right.
The 1 cent and 5 cents is actually a little bit heavier because those used to be aluminum.
Uh-huh.
And now they're with the plated steel technology, they have a slightly higher weight.
That's the
right?
1 cent.
Yes.
The which one?
The 1 cent and the 5 cent.
The 1 cent. Oh, really?
Yeah.
nickel.
Well, like you
Okay.
mentioned earlier, all the other coins are lighter.
In other countries, they
Less
use,
weight in your
they
pocket.
use their coins a lot, like in slots and parking meters. We don't have to be that precise with dimensions, right? We don't use these coins for purchasing in machines. Machines have to
You
accept
calibrate
them.
I think the only one I can think about is water dispensers. We do have a few of them, not a lot, but a few of them. Remember, these machines, they can be calibrated with whatever coin usage, just based on
Okay,
the size and
okay.
the dimension. So it's based on the machine's calibration.
Because I did try to use one of my quarters in a quarter machine in the US, and it didn't
Yeah,
take
because it's not calibrated for the Belizean quarter.
got the dimension,
Correct.
and I would have thought the dimensions were the same.
The dimension and the size.
Yeah.
And the weight.
And the
sometimes
weight.
the
And the weight.
Yeah,
Right,
sometimes
correct.
the weight.
But what about the paper money, the bills? Because these ATMs, the ATM can be calibrated.
Yes,
So-
yes. We actually had to do that process before we released it
That
into
one, yes.
circulation last August to ensure that all the ATMs countrywide were ready for the new
Okay.
bills.
So when will you distribute these? When will you put them out?
All right, so these new coins will go in circulation in September. So
Okay.
closer to the date, we'll be doing some public announcements just
Okay.
to advise the public of the exact date and what that will look like. But like I mentioned, the old coins will continue to co-circulate and will continue to be legal tender. So the public doesn't have to do anything. You don't need to go to the bank to deposit your
it'll
old
just
coins.
appear.
You just continue transacting as normal.
You're the only business that doesn't give any samples.
Yeah, somebody says that many countries avoid polygon-shaped coins to ensure coin sort as friendly. It needs to roll in most designs. That's just one of our viewers sent it.
Yeah, and that's factual. The way, depending on the vending machines and how they trickle down and they read. But with this advanced coin series, there's also covert security features, right? So within the plating recipe and the new technology implemented on these coins, there are specific technologies and security features that aren't seen to the public eye, but they are machine readable. So the coins have been created to be future resistant as well.
Before you go, I know other countries have had imperfect coins, and they become collector's items. Any chance we have any in here? You
We
find
aim
it
for
in Milwaukee,
perfection.
$1,000?
We aim for perfection, but if you find one, let me know for sure.
And,
All right.
And lastly, Ernesto, I just wanted to quickly point out that the dollar coin also has a specific microtext embedded in there that says the initials of the Central Bank of Belize, CBB. You might not be able to see it with a naked eye, but with a one of those.
Yeah, you will tell us to look at it. Yes.
Correct,
Yeah.
correct. So that's one of the security features. And just to reiterate
That's
that
a dollar coin.
that's a dollar coin,
Dollar
correct,
coin.
correct. And just to reiterate that it's important for the public to know their currency and know their money to make sure that they can tell when it's an authentic currency issued by the Central Bank of Belize. Right?
I wouldn't be worried about anybody trying to counterfeit.
Emmanuel, now you want to know that
Costs
when
too
you
much
give it,
to-
it's accepted.
Yes.
You know, 3 of these could buy you some tacos, right?
Yeah, you get some
That's all they
tacos.
want to know. The lady, no, I checked, was it signed?
No, but I mean, normally with coins, it's you know, because of the cost of
Yes,
just
correct.
producing it, it
Correct.
makes it it doesn't make it worth your while to
Correct,
even
correct.
try to.
Correct.
So
Yeah.
it's left up to the state to do it. And,
Yeah,
and
correct,
But
correct.
to
accept that.
Emmanuel's point, it's important to remain vigilant, especially with the banknotes.
Yeah, banknotes,
Apart
yes.
from
Banknotes, yes.
the resources we discussed with the coins, we do have resources on our website as well for the banknotes. It's still new, so we know that people are still getting used to all the security features, learning how to authenticate it. So we just urge the public to remain vigilant, especially when accepting banknotes in poorly lit areas.
Yeah,
Yes, just to ensure that you don't get past that banknote that's not genuine.
Sometimes you give out $2 for 100.
Yeah.
That's not counterfeit. It's just
Yes,
tricking you,
yes, yes.
like you said, poorly lit
Yes,
areas, and
yes.
people get duped
Yeah.
like that.
The
Indeed.
numbers are low in terms of counterfeiting, we must say, but
Yeah.
it's always good for the public to remain vigilant, right?
Yeah, indeed.
And it's a $20 bill, they usually counterfeit first, right? That seems to be
Usually
more
the
profitable.
larger denominations
They
will go
because
for
of
it, yeah.
the just cost of production.
Right.
You know, because if it's going to be cost more to produce, what's the point?
Yeah.
Correct, yeah.
Well, we certainly want to thank you guys for coming in this morning and alerting us about what's coming in September. And we certainly think that it's a good set of coins. And like you said, it's going to make us proud.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
all our symbols,
Fully Belizean
symbols
now.
there. And so,
Fully Belizean. Troy, one day you might get your picture on one of these, you know.
work on it.
I know.
National symbol.
Definitely, national symbol.
Well, I certainly want to thank Delroy Rayburn, Emmanuel Pech, and
Severino
Severino
Spagnolo.
Spagnolo for
You're enjoying your time
this
in
morning.
Belize?
Excellent. It's a beautiful country.
How do you
and
get the
rich-
money here? You brought it in a suitcase?
That's right. They're very light, easy
Yeah,
to transport,
that's
of
what I
course.
thought, you know, you check it in at the airport. And you have to pay $50 for an extra bag.
Beep, beep, beep. Yeah,
No,
certainly.
but really, how does this currency get here?
Container.
I know
with
it's-
shipping.
Yeah,
Yeah,
big
yeah,
containers,
shipping
yeah.
process.
A very secure process.
You don't tell anyone when it's coming.
No,
You
no.
should. You should.
That'll make a good movie. That's right.
Well, there's many movies like that. But they don't normally go for coins.
They're very heavy, that's
Yes.
for sure.
Yeah,
The
they don't
coin
normally
shipments
go
are
for
extremely
coins.
heavy.
And
Yeah.
not only that, this whole distribution process makes it very clumsy. But
Yeah.
never know.
Are there plans for any, like, how would I put, a gold coin, you know, usual anniversaries? Or
Yeah, it's something
you know,
we're
that's
looking at
something
right now.
coming out, right?
Yeah, it's something we're looking
Yeah.
at.
Commemorative
Mhm.
coin for some special
Yeah.
occasion.
I have
Maybe
one-
for
I have one,
50th
you know, I have one.
independence
Yes,
and
yes,
things like
yes,
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Make only gold 1 cent. I could buy that one.
Yeah. It's going to cost 2
Yeah,
cents.
cool though. These are nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I want to thank you, gentlemen, for coming in this morning, and all the best on the launch.
Thank
as
you.
well. We look forward to it.
Thank you, gentlemen.
It's now 21 minutes to 8 o'clock.
We'll be back, folks, and we'll open the lines and we'll be chatting with you.
Good morning, Belize. It was a rather wet night last night over most areas, except for the Belize and the Corozal district, which did not experience much activity. Shower activity had decreased slightly since daybreak. An approaching tropical wave is supporting moist and unstable conditions over our area. The 24-hour forecast: cloudy skies at times today and tonight, A few showers, periods of moderate rain, and isolated thunderstorms will likely continue around the country today, especially over southern and northern inland areas. Then, a few showers and isolated thunderstorms will likely affect mostly southern and some coastal areas tonight. The maximum temperatures for today will reach 87 degrees Fahrenheit along the coast, will be a bit warmer inland, reaching around 92 degrees Fahrenheit, and cooler up in the hills, around 79 degrees Fahrenheit. The low temperature at 9:38, followed by a high tide this evening at 3:21, another low tide tonight at 9:21, and another high tide early tomorrow morning at 3:31. The sun will set this evening at 6:31 and will rise early tomorrow morning at 5:24. The moon will set just before midday at 11:49 and will rise tonight at 11:46. The outlook for Wednesday and Wednesday night: skies will be cloudy at times. Showers or thunderstorms will be generally isolated, with a few more expected mostly over the south. In the tropical weather outlook, things continue to remain quiet as no tropical cyclone development is expected over the area during the next 48 hours. For a review of our forecast and other products, please visit our website at nms.gov.bz. Our next forecast comes out at 12 p.m. this afternoon. With that, we end this morning's forecast from the Belize National Met Service.
Pelican is more than just brewed in Belize. It's made of Belize. And being made of Belize means being authentic, unique, and proud. This is what that looks like.
Once again, good morning, Belize. Good morning. This is the morning show on a Tuesday morning. It is the 7th day of July, 2026. I'm Ernesto, and this is Troy with me this morning. And you, of course, inviting you to join us. 203-2098, 203-2281, 203-0528. You can, you know,
In your
express
news
your opinion
this
or
morning,
give us some good news.
you highlighted the AGM for the Fisher Folk Cooperative. You know, it's kind of timely because one of the major exports we have is marine products. With the lobster season opening this July.
And at the same time, you have cooperatives are in, some of them.
Because
doing too well, too good.
the two main cooperatives that continue to remain is National Fishermen Cooperative and Northern Fishermen Cooperative, and most of these fishermen are members of these cooperatives, and so that's how they are able to sell their product, and then these cooperatives are the one that export it, and so we could get the foreign exchange earning from it, and they create a huge livelihood for these fisher folks as well, because outside of just fishing for fish. These are high demand product, lobster and conch. Conch will be 1st of October, that season will open. And normally Valentine or so when the lobster season closes on average. So you're looking at a lucrative time for fishermen during this time because they're going to check their traps, their shades, and different areas where they do they get their lobster from. Some do actual diving, but it's a very lucrative foreign exchange earner and good for the fishermen. So it's kind of timely when I heard the news item about the AGM. That's the first thing that came to mind. So I'm glad that the whole concept is alive.
After saying that, Troy, how familiar are you with with how lucrative it is? Was it more lucrative a few years ago? Is it increasing?
No,
it's
very lucrative. Actually,
is the value going?
Actually, when the private sector
exporting
entered,
more now than we were a few years ago.
It's always steady. It's relatively steady. In terms of we're averaging on or around 1 million pounds of lobster and conch on average. You're kind of a little bit there or so, but it's always that's the general from my knowledge and familiarity with that part of the industry. It's pretty steady and reliable. Of course, during the period of COVID and so, there was a drop in prices because demand had dropped in the United States because restaurants were closed, and so because a big chunk of the market is the United States for us.
Is it still?
Yes, it is. It is. It is the primary market for us because it's the easiest to reach. You're selling, it's all frozen, so it can ship wherever. But in terms of the cost of shipping and so to go to, say, Asian countries, there's a trickle. I think National Fishermen does some arrangement with Taiwan. But the shipping cost is still a prohibitive component. In a week, I can have my product delivered to the United States and my money sent to me. Done.
Yeah.
Europe, there's not that level of lag time. So within a day or two, the product is cleared from the customs, FDA checked and approved, and delivered to the purchaser or the buyer, and they send wire your money. There's a process, no? Sometimes when it's on the ship, you get a portion, and when it arrives, you get a portion. Depends on what kind of arrangement you have with your buyer.
I guess we have like a niche market in the United States.
It is a product that if we had more, we could sell more. If we had more, we could sell more. A fisherman is for lobster tail, right now, I think it's around $26 a pound. That is being paid by the cooperative. So the fisherman collects that. That's a good windfall. Previously, as before the private sector. When I say private sector, meaning that you have entities that are not cooperative
Would buy.
that would buy
directly.
and they enter and so that also improve the price, the pricing, because you get competitive, because you want to get as much as you can, because you can sell as much as you can get off the fishermen.
What's the local policy on us having some for ourselves? Because we always complain it's too expensive for us because of the exportation that we
No,
do.
there's no policy.
There's no policy.
No.
So
there's-
it's all left up to the fisherman who he wants to sell to.
Yes, yes.
Because restaurants in Belize, hotels and so on do offer it, but I guess they buy directly or they buy from the cooperative.
they're supplied by the
So-
same fishermen, them, and maybe at the same price or near the same. And then that's why they have to put on their margins when they sell it, and that's why it appears
When they retail it,
expensive.
yeah.
But it's a luxury product. Lobster, but lobster in particular is classified as a luxury product, and so it's a high-end product, and so it has a specific market for the most part. So we noticed when there was COVID, and the restaurants in the United States, especially restaurant chains like Red Lobster,
I know
closed
they
down.
were a big
And they still
buyer?
they still are.
They
They
still
still
are?
are a big purchase of Belizean lobster as well, and our spiny lobster. But the the price had dipped but that has all gotten back to now.
we are talking exporting the tails.
Yeah, well, we also
Or
do.
do we
some people
export the
do
whole lobster?
Yeah, people do whole as
whole
as
lobster?
well. You have an entity that does whole down south called Rainforest. That they do.
No, I mean
whole-
exporting.
Yes, that was said. They do export whole lobster. I think some of the cooperative does some of it as well, but primarily the demand is for the
For
tail.
the tail. What do we do with the rest of the lobster?
Most of it is they would take out the thing like the head meat and so and sell those separately, and but most of the time it's
I remember
thrown
as a
back.
little boy, my mother used to buy the legs, the lobster legs,
Legs,
and
uh-huh.
they used to skin it, but you break them
Spiny.
open and pull out the lee meat,
you
and
get
you
the
used to
meat.
enjoy that. You can't seem to get that.
Well, most of
anymore.
that is tossed back into the ocean and
Really?
different things like that. Yeah, normally because these guys would do it on the boat.
Because they do it on the boat.
Yeah, they do it on the
So
boat.
the
and so, yeah.
body of the lobster is
Yeah,
not-
because primarily it's the tail that is meaty, and that's where you get the
and
bulk.
it's too much trouble, I guess. The claws and the
You see,
and the
more-
legs.
yeah, and then with the whole lobster, it's a special market because some persons don't want to see the head and all of that on the
While live lobsters in the U.S., there's the Maine lobster and so on is a big deal. You buy the whole lobster
Yeah,
and eat it there.
yeah.
They actually
But it's a
Cook it
very,
live.
It's a big component for us in terms of foreign exchange earnings and for the
Yes, it
sustenance
is.
of our fisher folk. No?
Hello, caller. Good morning. You're on the air.
Pleasant good morning to you there, Mr. Ernesto and Mr. Troy.
Good morning,
Morning, sir.
Emmanuel Orlando Dawson.
Mr. Dawson. What's up?
Yes, Mr. Dawson. Morning.
Yeah, I am glad to hear back from you all and I'm able to get a little message across to you all there. I
Uh-huh.
was listening to the talk show last night and I heard two things that kind of pick up on the interest. I heard John said the letter fall down and Mr. Hector said the Mennonites, they came here and they did some wonderful job. Where does that leave us? Well, let me tell you what was done in the 60s, 50s to 60s by the Belizean farmers, mainly in the Belize River Valley and Toledo. We was the grove basket, you could call it. We used to supply all the food product to Belize before the Mennonites they came here. Rice, corn, beans, chicken, pigs, cattle, every single thing was produced by these farmers. Belize district used to supply all the rice. They had all these villages producing rice. Toledo used to produce the rice. He come by Heron H. Maya Prince on the radio, run the passenger. Heron H bring the rice at marketing board. They were paying the people 6 cents a pound, and if your rice not dry, they take off 1 cent. Right? Okay. Rice used to help the people in the Belize River Valley, to school, to buy other product, to buy cattle, and do everything the people may need to do here. But then, politically, the people get tied up in politics, and they decided to support next candidate, which was they call it the farmer candidate. And the late area representative time decided they will undermine the Belize district. They take the rice mill and they carry a PG. They tell the people, if you want to sell rice, carry the PG. That was a severe blow to the Belize Creole people in this district. Rice was everything for them, and they took away everything they had. They went into cooperatives. There was a fish cooperative registered in Rancho Dolores to produce freshwater catfish. The corporate department, with their smart ideas, come and tell the people, you know something? We don't know how to sell the fish through another cooperative. We don't sell them direct to Americans. We could find an American market, you know. They bring down some American, they bring down processed unit, freezer, and all different things. So they buy the fish and they help people raise fish. They buy out all the fish. When the catfish, they finish out, they never raise nothing. The cooperative department register said this in a meeting. He said, I will bite my teeth to make sure that the thing works. Well, when he opened my mouth, you know what happened? The processing facility went down south, I believe, to Caribbean Cooperative. There where the freezer went. Undermine the poor people side again. We gone, we form another cooperative, the Central Agriculture Cooperative. They push it around, they push it around, do all kind of thing. We was to produce, process, and marketing of our product. Rice, grains, and other crops was short-term project. Cashew, fish, and livestock was to be the long-term. Again, the politicians get in and decide they want to undermine that. They put up a cashew factory that Max Barrow. The other party come and they put up a Belize River Valley project up there. All kind of thing they do to destroy the poor people. Under the UDP, they gone and they dig fish pan all over the country. Where the fish then there? Where the cashew then there? Where the River Valley project they do for the people? Thousands of dollars spent using the poor people in a Belize River Valley, only undermining the people politically.
Okay.
Right now, we're going to try from another cooperative to bring back the Belize Livestock, River Valley Livestock Association. Again, we get undermined. 1 month before we get registered, the cooperative officer come and say, "Look, something, we don't need to join our next cooperative where they have for 50 years. They have for 50 years, you don't got no bank account, you don't got no sign, you don't got nothing. So we must join one nothing. And because we not agree to join one nothing cooperative, then decide not to get we register. We call the minister, we go and talk to the minister of the government. He tell them go ahead and register the cooperative. They refuse to register the cooperative. The new minister of the budget come in, Mr. Ferguson. I meet in a livestock meeting, I tell her I need to talk with her, he say yes. I call and text her. He only answer one text in a meeting. So I believe he's still in a meeting for last year. He never answered it. We have a rough time with the political government. There is time for somebody to defend Belize River Valley because these people were productive people. 1961 when Hurricane Hattie, 1 truckload of rice gone on for Rancho Dolores. The people lose all their rice. They send back, Mr. Price send back 1 truckload of lumber to the people. The ferry gone on with their lumber, all their lumber gone on the river. A lot of bad things happen to the people, but nobody don't know the history of this place. Everybody they talk and criticize.
all right.
And criticize.
Caller,
Korea
before
will be the supply, and India may supply all this market of Belize all the time.
caller,
I guess you all want to ask the question. I'm going to break, make you ask all the question, then we will go through this competition. If you
no,
don't have time.
I need to clarify something.
All right, good.
What years are you actually talking about? Because you mentioned first Heron H. We did talk about what, the 40s and the 50s.
You know, from the 1960s.
From the 60s.
61
So
we
this is
produced,
before
right?
before independence.
Yeah, before independence.
Okay.
Independence coming in 1980, 81, right?
Yeah.
1981.
we,
I guess.
We were still doing rice and other thing, right? Independence, you know, I want to be honest with you. Mr. Price was very good to the people of the Belize River Valley, mainly. This Scotland have moon subdivided into 150 parts of land for agriculture. Part with boom, part with Isabella, part with double head, Scotland have moon in the middle. And that was the way it's out. Today they know the land and take up, other people come in and grab up the land and start to fight the people for the land. A lot of people about them business lose their land when they make up. Other people come in and just take the land without the Department of Land, find out where they go on to the poor people. Then I'm not given to them by Mr. Price. The same government of the people United Party now, with the new people, new leaders, turn around and humble the people. What do I say to we know? What do I say to we know? What are their excuse?
Okay.
Well,
all right. Well,
I would think
basically
the community needs to get it up.
We're at a point where coming together as a unit.
That's right.
Doesn't have to. You don't have to go register nothing. You come together as a unit and you work together as a unit.
The Belize River Valley has a population.
Yeah, but that can't be a hindrance for you to work together with each other. If you don't meet some legal criteria, you see, one of our problem, we look for the obstacle that as opposed to try to go around that obstacle. Right now, we're talking about the coming together of our people. If we come together as a unit, you could call yourself anything. You could call yourself anything. The point is that you're stronger when you're together. I talk about how a company is formed last night. I talk about about shareholders. It is multiple people putting their monies together to be able to form one big unit. And that unit can then garner the economies of scale, and that will then garner profitability.
And the River Valley has resources.
Yeah.
A lot of resources.
You don't need to be called a cooperative. If for whatever you're saying there's some obstacle, I'm not going to get into that because that's not the gist of what how my thinking work. My thinking work is that every time I hear a reason why it can't work, I look at other communities and groups and I see them working. And I see them going. And then what we do, we develop a level of, I don't know if it's jealousy or something, and we start to bicker, we start to undermine, and we start to find ways to bring that down, that group to our level. And I'm saying that when will we learn that that is not the way how you progress? We have to pool our resources. We're small. So if I can't do it by myself, we see the sugarcane farmers, everybody want to own a truck. Everybody want to own a cutter. Everybody want to own everything for themselves, and then they're inefficient. We have to then pool together. So one person do this, and the next person do that, so everybody makes money, and all of us survive, and we continue to grow. That's how unity works. That's how any ethnic group, we talk about the Mennonite last night again. The Mennonite has two things on us as Belizeans.
Unity.
They're unified and they are focused. And they are focused. They don't drink, they don't party. They focus. They go to bed early. Last night somebody called and said Spanish Choco no have no street lamp at night. Everybody must be in their bed. Early the rest so that when they get up, they could get up early in the morning to start to till the soil or do whatever it is that they do. They're very, very focused. Are we willing to make that sacrifice? That's what we want to do. Otherwise, you can't compare yourself with them.
And the River Valley has resources. It has people.
Oh, yes.
Coming together. We always hear about it. It's a beautiful area of the country. You know, just need to get your act together, get some leadership, and come together.
Thank you, Mr. Dawson. We have to go to break.
You realize that the cooperative give you the better privilege to sell your product. You could produce individually, but you need to sell collectively. Well, okay, they don't want to help with the cooperative. We're trying
Well,
to
farm your
work
own,
through
man.
the association.
If call
But we
yourself, the
have a
Mennonite no call
that
himself
the people
nothing.
need to get a parcel of land so they could get some grant or to do something.
You keep,
But for the last
you
6
keep
years,
waiting
they
for
can't
somebody
get
to give you
document to the
something.
land.
You
The
just
land
tell us.
department got the people back and forth.
You just tell us that there's you people have land in the
Yes,
River
they
Valley. You
own
told
the
us
land, they
they
own
own
the
the
land,
land.
they
So
own
which
the
land you're
land.
looking for?
Yeah, they got the individual land, but
Duh.
the group have a parcel of land that they need to get the papers so it could set up they have a facility up there that
We're
people
looking.
improve, but they
We're
cannot
looking
improve
for
it unless
reason
they
for
get the
not.
document to the land.
Okay.
All right then, Mr. Dawson, we gotta go to break though.
Thank you
All right,
for
get the
bringing up
message.
the
I'll
subject.
keep listening to you all, no?
Thank
Yeah.
you. All the best.
Yes, sir. 7 minutes after 8 o'clock. Stay with us. We take a break. We'll be back. Welcome back, Belize. Welcome back to the morning show. 11 minutes after 8 o'clock. I don't know where you are, but here in Belize City, a little rain out there. You know, the Weather Bureau did say that it'll be raining. We heard this morning it's little rain in PG. Well, there's some of that out there right now here in Belize City. I don't know how wide it is, but it's there and it's coming down.
Well, there is a tropical wave
we look forward to some rain.
that has been forecast to cross the country during the course of today, and it will give thunder showers and stuff like that. That's what the claim is, in particular in the southern and coastal areas.
Right.
So we have to be very conscious of that for the time being. But we're getting into what is called the rainy period, and so you know we're coming out of the hot period, and we're going to get some moisture. Good for the crops. Not, you don't want too much, but nonetheless, you know, somebody told me over the weekend. He said, my grass and my plants, I water it from the faucet. He says, and it just it stays. It doesn't die.
No.
He said, but as soon as
the
real rain come, you could see it flourishing. It gets greener. It starts blooming.
I have that experience.
And so
you hose it, and you know it's. But when the rain come,
like Mother Nature, being able to massage the crops and the plants. So I say that to say that you do need some of the natural rain.
My first reaction when I see rain, I say, "Oh, I don't have to go water my plants." So then I'm really happy.
Really happy.
Yeah, because some big ones you can't water them. I mean, there's no way. The ones in the pots you can, and so on. But if you have bigger trees growing in the yard, you know that you have some property, you can't water them there. You know.
Yes, indeed.
So they have
Mother Nature have to take care of those, and so that's the issue.
But Mother Nature can't take care of us if we don't get our act together. Does it?
Well, we see what happened with climate change when we act reckless, contrary to Mother Nature. We see that the planet is getting hotter. We see that the seas are rising, and we're experiencing these effects right now because we have been not understanding and wanting to work together to be able to continue to maintain this level of pristine protection that Mother Nature gives us. You know, we listened just now to the callers, and I had some of them last night were saying, well, you know, using different analogy. They even fly in the face of not wanting to accept things like one cocoa full basket. They're trying to find a reason why that shouldn't even be entertained in the terms of that concept. And I'm saying, as long as we continue to find excuses and obstacles, that is going to slow us down to grow as a society. We have to be progressive. And if we're unified in our whole approach, but we have to go slow. I remind persons when we were growing up, Mennonites used to sell peanuts on the street. That's how we got connected to them. In their overalls, you remember that? That used to be how we recognized that that's a Mennonite selling peanuts and things, walking the street, and we used to buy the little bag of peanuts in a little paper bag.
We would shun them.
Yes, and they used to be smelly and different things like that because of the sweat and so on, they're being outside. And then eventually we start to see them progressing into other areas. Yeah. We just ran an ad just now with Coop Sheet Metal. Coop is a Mennonite-owned company that is prominent in roofing and metal sheeting. They find out what the society wants and needs, and they went and they invested and produced it. And they're doing it in a sustainable way. So they're not there for just one air and then they fall up and wind up. They've been going on for a long period of time.
The issue here is what we have, what I think our first reaction to them is because we consider them clannish. They stay in their own. Okay, we'll talk more about that, but let's take this call. Hello, caller. You're on the air. This is Love.
Good morning.
Morning, sir.
Gentlemen, I know we have, we build this highway. But this highway congested.
Which highway?
Vehicle.
Which
The main
highway?
highway, all the highway within the bill now.
Okay.
They enclose people walking on the street. They enclose animal crossing. It's dangerous. Some big drain. Anytime you slip off a road, like in a drain they're going. I don't know, like everybody now have the same comprehension of what the government will do when they build this highway. Right now, it's very dangerous. You can't walk, you can't run like we used to practice.
Give him one area where they talk about. Make most of the listeners understand what did you refer to.
You travel a highway and see if you could get away for anything.
From which
no,
one?
And worse, because they build drain for hill. What your part that what part in the bill right now?
But I don't understand you.
The big deep drain. We don't need a lot of drain for water. Yeah. We need road space, no drain space. So I want to make the engineer reconsider this one and take it seriously that the highway is dangerous.
What you're saying, you want the road to be wider? Is that what you're saying?
Well, we need the road wider, exactly. And we need space for everything too. Not just for how they have it, only for vehicle passing right now, you notice that what part we have most of the road park, only and one lane. They don't even left space to park. Every time one vehicle blocks on the road, you have an accident. You will always have more because no park space.
But all these new highways have shoulders, right?
Well, he's talking about the peace between San Ignacio and Belmopan.
Yeah.
I think it's adequate. I think they got too much speed bump, but that's all right. I mean, I have to live with it. I understand there's a lot of villages and areas, so you kind of want to. Because we don't got discipline, we have to use the speed bump to slow us down. So
tell us we can't control our own traffic.
I get it, and if you're traveling at the proper speed limit, the issue of accident and reckless overtaking, and so if you control yourself, you would not have so much accident. So. You know, all of us travel the road and it could happen to anybody anytime. So I'm not going to think that only a special group of people get in accidents and have these incidents. But the reality is that we have to continue to be careful. Doesn't matter how big they make the road. You just have to be more reckless. That's all it does. Because that's how, you know, it's a mentality that we have to start to permeate in ourselves, because what we do is we look for a reason why we can't progress. I don't know why every call we get from time to time is finding an excuse or blaming somebody.
Whenever we have a serious conversation, for some reason we generally attack it. Whenever we have a serious topic, a serious conversation, serious change, we don't go okay, let's talk about this and find out. We immediately attack the idea, or we get emotional about it, and that doesn't help coming to a decision that builds a consensus so all of us agree. Coming back to the issue with the Mennonites, and I don't know why would the rest of us look at them because they are progressing, figure out that it was handed to them.
That's not true.
That's not true. We look. Then we go at the area of where we say, but hold on, they clannish, they like stay on their own, they got their own thing, and they get them. There you go. But there is some resistance to that. They want them to be like you, and still progress the way they do, and it doesn't work like that.
The Mennonite, I've never tried to want to be like other locals. They have their focus.
Deliberately objected in many ways.
They have their focus. They said, I'm not going to allow you to contaminate my structure, because we have.
I could use the word contaminate. Okay.
Yeah, we have a way of life and a structure, and we will progress. And we are business people too, so. They keep themselves, and that would be a good case study for any student at the university to show how that community and that ideology flourish in a society and economy like us, that is open, that is free market, that is capitalistic, that is hinged to the mercantile structure of the United States.
We are looking at this and saying, we are the roots Belizean is a polar opposite of a Mennonite. But
Yes.
they're both Belizean.
Yes.
Instead of us, the roots Belizean saying, you the progress and I never get the same opportunities. I like the idea of you saying a case study of how we can learn from them and what changes we need to make to our habits. Now,
Last
I
night-
know I agree with you
la-
that I know I will stop drink so I could better.
No, I said you have to focus.
Right.
I never tell you how to live your life.
No. What I'm saying is,
I'm
we
saying
need
if you want to
compromise
study
at
the
some point.
Mennonite, if you want to, if you're using the Mennonite as a case study, then you also have to take in consideration their lifestyle. Don Hector called last night, and he gave a history of when the Mennonite came. He broke it down from the day when a couple of them came and they went and bought their axe and their chainsaw and they started to cut. And the hurricane came, how significantly important they were, especially in rebuilding back the city, building the long barracks and all of that. That is him giving us a history of how they start.
Did that indicate what the caller brought up, that maybe from then they got some advantages?
But it's not
The rest of
advantage.
us, we didn't get.
When you say advantage, make it sound as though there was some preferential treatment, and you're discounting their hard work. You're discounting their putting their shoulders to the wheel. We started out in this society with us owning all our shops. I used to work at a shop. Used to work at a shop at a transplanted Belizean Jamaican man transplanted to Belize. We had in one block. We had 4 shops owned by Belizeans.
Well, Albert
you know what you have now?
Albert Street was fully.
You know what you have now?
Belizean.
You have 3 or 4 Chinese shops. We sold out because we saw a different opportunity. But the point is, you can't blame somebody for that because that's you making a decision.
So let's come to the present. What could we learn from them? What changes would we need to make?
But I just point those out.
Let's just for instance, if we all were living like the Mennonites, Bowen and Bowen wouldn't exist, except for soft drinks. I think they drink soft drinks, right?
I would think so.
I would think so. So, is there what we could learn and adapt from them? Because let's face it, all the Mennonite people I know, even though they behave like that, they do adopt a lot of our traditions. If you go to Spanish Lookout, you know it's a dry community, but they have a border. So they build outside that border so they can have events that are not dry. You know that?
Okay.
Yeah, a rich Mennonite built a huge structure. One of his daughters, I think, was getting married, wanted to have a wedding. Invite all his Belizean friends. You can have a dry wedding.
Okay.
But he couldn't have it within the community.
Okay.
So he built outside of the community, and that place is used now by regular. So they are Belizeans, but they know how to control it.
Focus.
Yeah, focus. Hello, caller. Good morning.
Hi, morning, Ernesto.
Boy,
Yeah,
you get up early in the morning, yeah?
Very early, sir. But like the morning, like the midnight thing. I go sleep by 8 o'clock. Without any alcohol.
But why, Lascelles, why are we having this discussion about the Mennonites? Why?
Because it's an example. If you want, not complain that you don't make it. If we have an example, no, if you don't have no example, then we could say with the struggle, we try to find our way out, no? And I think the Mennonites are good. Well, I like with the Mennonites that they're right in our country. You don't have to go to Singapore, go to Canada, so we go learn something. It's right here in front of us. If we integrate with them, we buy from them, we do business with them, we see the things that they do. So I think that a good example in front of our face.
And I would like to say, Lascelles, let's not get carried away by what we're hearing people say. Because I think generally we admire and like them.
Right.
I mean, when they have for them fair, we all flock there and love it, right?
Exactly. More than showgrounds.
Yep.
What I think we'll bring up a question just now. Why, when we have a good idea, people find a way to beat it down? And the answer to that Ernesto, if we start to discuss the good idea,
then you have to take responsibility to see through and to do something about it. So because we don't want to do anything about it, we find a way to kill it. Because they have to take responsibility for make sure it works. And that's one of the main issues. You want to know a good idea come out, they find something.
Yeah, the first thing we do is we attack it. Yeah.
Right.
We get emotional over it, or we don't like anything we don't like about it.
Because if we start to show all the reason why the thing will work, then we will have to take on the responsibility for make sure it works and doing the work to make sure it works. And that's the main issue, no? I remember in 1985 when Louis Farrakhan came to Brazil, I remember he talked about the time there for like a week. And they watch how the people they behave and stuff like that, and talk about the young girls walking down the street with tight jeans on that look like they have to grease themselves to get it right. And they started talking about all the different things and stuff like at Christmas, all the different things that happen. And then they realized one of the things in the speech said that imagine you say 100, and the time we had remember the issue with Coca-Cola, with the Minute Maid.
You mean?
When I'm about all the land.
Oh yeah. Minute Maid, yeah.
Minute Maid. It's 150,000 party goers partying their lives away. And when they wake up from the party, they'll not only, when they wake up from the party, they'll tell them that you don't live here anymore. And you will not only lose 750,000 acres, but you'll lose everything. Right? So, for that 1985, Farrakhan say, just being here 1 week, see the behavior of the Belizean people, how they behave. The party and the drink and that type of thing, while other companies they come in, want to buy up all these land and they do whatever they do. If you look at the tourist industry now compared to 1985, everything we sell out and whatever it is, and somebody else own it. And then we already are staying our stupor, the drink and the party and the next concert and the next concert. And we just describe ourselves in the process and then we turn around, complain. Then we want the politician pay for it. When I say pay for it, like handout from them. And then for the politician give handout, then they have to do something illegal to make that handout work. And then we end up with a country where we don't have no guidance or prosperity for the people.
So we don't have the courage to look within ourselves. Troy suggested this would be a good exercise for social science students at the universities to study why, or come up with I'll say, look, we need to study them and adapt some of their habits or the better habits,
exactly.
And come up with a compromise. But we would be scared to do that because we'd have to give up some of. I mean, the first thing we had to do is cut down open clubs till 4 a.m.
Right. The thing is, Ernesto, how could we develop a country if half of the time we full with alcohol? Thursday we have blackout. Monday you go for most construction sites, half of the staff show up, or even the work because people are hangover, they sick time, they did a funeral, the time off and the sick leave and you just name it. How could you build a country like that?
Yeah.
That's the issue we have. The amount of holidays, everything you could think about, you start to add it up. And there's no way you could be productive. There's no way you could do a research on it. There's no way a country doing all these things could be fully developed.
But how you change that?
We have to start with the example we have around us.
It's
correct back to that.
Yeah.
If you go to Spanish lookout, that's how Belize is supposed to live. The Belizeans supposed to live with all this open space and land and everything. We can't have the amount of land. All of it jump up in one another and live through alley and live in a swamp and stuff like that. That's the way they talk about. When you look at it, you say, man, this is how we're supposed to live.
But gentlemen,
because we have it before we
generally, not only Belize, generally we tend to object because we don't like when people, and this is why we have such a immigration issue all over the world now, that people come into your country and because they don't live like you, they don't behave like you start to resent them.
Yep.
I mean, look at the Indian community in the United States.
Mhm.
They are now resented because they come there, they take the big jobs, they are focused, and all of a sudden they seem like they don't live like me, so they shouldn't be here. And if they weren't
And
here,
happy.
if they weren't here, I would be doing that. That is where
Right.
that is where the mistake comes in.
Yeah, and then what happened with immigration? What happened with immigration over any part of the world? People are left from their country, from their home, going to another country. They will work harder. They will do what they need to do to be better than
Yeah,
where they come
because
from.
they understand, right?
And then they come with their culture and everything and so. And so what happened? Still like the Indian community, there are doctors, there are technology and everything and so. And the salary as Indian in America, they're way up above a lot of the different groups, Then you have the Chinese and stuff like that. The immigrants, they come and work much harder. Like I said, we the host, so we don't really have to do much, no?
Yeah. All right. We have to take a break. Thanks.
Take
Thanks.
a break. 8:32. Welcome back, folks. Welcome back. 25 minutes away from 9 o'clock. This is The Morning Show, and we thank you for choosing us. And we hope that like I say, we don't want to tell you what to think. We just want you to think. And we are talking about opposites here. Basically, we are saying that we've had immigrants come to Belize, create. They've established themselves, making a living in the country, and some of us feel that has affected us negatively.
Let's look at the Central American immigrants.
Yeah. Hello, caller. Good morning.
Good morning, Ernesto. Good morning, Troy.
Morning, sir.
Good morning.
I met the first 7 Mennonites at George Price Office in 1968. I was living in Belize at that time, and Surprise called me also. And I also met them when they arrived in San Ignacio in one of Batik buses. They went straight to Kalim Habet, the biggest store in San Ignacio, to buy rubber boots, machete, axe, and a power saw. I met them again and they inquired what was the best place to enter Spanish Lookout. They had bought it from Beto Estad's wife, the Bonds girls, whose grandmother left it for them. They had bought it at rate of something like 28,000 acres. Paid very cheaply at that time, something like 78,000 or something like dollars. Nevertheless.
What?
So I told him, I said, go over, but before you get to Flowers, I meet to Floral Park, where Boss Manana used to live, and you will see a road that goes to Mr. Dickie Smith. Mr. Dickie Smith allowed them to cross in Dory, and they began by the river edge to clean one trail into that bush. They went in as far as they could. They came back to San Ignacio and just kept there. The first thing they did was to begin to cut down the big trees along the way, and they converted a Ford, the rubber wheel tractor, into a little sawmill. And they began to produce lumber. And they began to enter further, and then eventually, they began selling lumber. So that by 1961, when Hurricane Hattie hit Belize, the Mennonites were the first to come and build at Hattieville. We have pictures on that. The Mennonites began to build those long barracks at Hattieville to accommodate the people that were damaged in Belize City. Thereafter, the Mennonites went and they began to produce eggs to sell in San Ignacio, tomatoes, because we were importing tomato from Miami to Mr. Jim Blake, Jadalamia, and some of the other brothers included, used to import eggs and tomatoes in little crates from the United States. And the Mennonites began to produce, and they began to produce, and they went further until they reached another area. They built one little shed, which was their center of work. Mr. Wolf, I remember Mr. Wolf, a great mechanic, established a machine shop there to give service to us. Nevertheless, to cut it short, those people went in further and further into that forest until they began to build their little shacks out of the lumber that they cut in that big high bush Spanish Lookout. And then they went into other projects like raising corn and everything. So those Mennonites actually work their bottom to get where they are. They work like, and always in a blue jean pants and then overall.
Director,
I want everybody to celebrate, then they work.
Tell me
And
something.
This is how the Mennonites began. And
Director,
hello?
yeah. Let me ask you, you might know, we got a caller this morning because you're talking about how these people came and work hard. Were there any Belizean communities who were progressing the same way? We got a caller from the Belize River Valley saying that they were hindered from progressing because of legislation by the government. While the Mennonites were doing all this, were there any other communities who were, I don't know, growing tomatoes as well, or doing farming? And these were roots Belizeans.
There was one. There was one building right there by Beaver Dam Bridge. This boy Elisho or something was building one with pure Belizeans. They allocated a piece of land and said, well, here we're going to have a replica of the Mennonite people. But then they took them to court because they were planting corn too near to the road. They went to court, you know. They went to court. The previous administration, of course, took them to court because they were trespassing into what they call the road reserve. So it became a big fight. And they're still there, you know. They have living houses, I noticed. Right by Beaver Dam, before you get to, after you get to Beaver Dam from Belize City, on your left, that whole huge 2,000 acres was distributed among Belizeans that want to do farming. So I said, this is going to be a replica of Peninsula Coast. But Peninsula Coast actually was hard work, and those people just began to work, and then they began to produce cow milk. My dad sold them a whole truckload of milking cows. My dad just farm is just about 3 miles away. We sold them and they began to produce milk, and they went through all stages of farming and eventually reached to where that's from 1948, 42, and 26. That's 68 years ago.
Okay.
So those people have worked themselves, and they have their own court, you know. It is called the elders. Anytime they have a problem within the dissatisfaction among them, they go to the elders. The elders meet and the elders settle their problems. They are all those elderly people.
Thank you, Don Hector.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Justice system.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Troy, but given those conditions, give them an advantage.
Which condition?
At some point, how much authority does the traditional system of government Belize affect them, influence them, or control them?
No, nothing. They have to pay tax just like we. They pay their tax. They have to pay GST. They have to do everything, just like any other business right now.
That elder situation is similar to the alcalde with the Mayans.
But the alcalde situation is built in law. This is just within their own community.
Right.
If an accident happens in Spanish Coast, the police will go there and deal with them.
We know that.
So there's
there's
no jurisdiction that they control.
Hello, Carlo. Good morning.
Yes, good morning.
Morning.
Yes, this morning I want to discuss about our farmer, Shine Barrow then.
Yes, sir.
He used to be Caliph Prime Minister, all of that. But anyway, I think that the time enough to make me know that Shine Barrow would do like Stanley Usher from Punta Gorda, but in a different way. Because Stanley Usher, my cousin, no? He went over to the PUP. And I think the same thing Shine Barrow is doing, but in a different way, no? But I just will tell you guys, I have a nice PUP shirt there for Shine Barrow. So when the company show again, tell I have one of my shirt now, no?
All right.
Wait, so you're thinking they migrate over to the PUPs?
Exactly. I think it is 90%.
But you think the PUPs will accept Pano?
Yes, not that way, I believe.
Now, wishful thinking.
In the house right now, so we can't accuse him of crossing the floor, but I mean.
Yeah, but it's for the talk show, you guys give us 2 hours and that man there, the talk not there, but, on the other side, I think he did with the PUP.
Okay.
Nothing wrong with that, because, I believe in choose what he want, no?
Yeah. Okay.
The next thing I want to discuss is that this investigation with the ministers then. I think nothing will come out of that, because in this country, I find out that money run everything. And if you meet the right people, that will be a payoff. So my suggestion right now is that I don't get the result, is that you don't find nothing. Because they will find a way.
Generally, most people believe that.
That's my belief. No?
You're not alone.
And you guys will see there will be nothing coming out, because what they do right now is that they bring people for talk, for pay off, for making a song like they do good when they are doing bad, which is bad for the country. Justice, man. When you're wrong, you need to pay for your wrong. You understand?
Okay.
But the way the money they go right now in this country, they just appear up. So I don't think nothing will come out of it. And you are listening to what I said. Nothing will come out of it. Although they give it 3 months, that's just 3 months to relax.
Okay.
Right? But the point is, nothing will come out of this, and it's bad for Belize, and that's the way catch Guatemala, Honduras, why the money is so low, because of corruption. That's all I got to say right now.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, caller.
Speaking of the suspension, They still have all their benefits. They still get full pay, have access to the government vehicle. I mean, what?
Yeah, I'm not
how are
sure
they
exactly
held
how
accountable when it
normally
comes
when
to
you're on a leave of absence, it's like you're on a sort of vacation. So technically, if I send you off, I'm still entitled to pay you. I didn't fire you. I didn't suspend you or anything without pay. So you more than likely would still have all your benefits intact.
Hello, Carlo. Good morning. You're on the air.
Yes, just to add on to what I said before,
Uh-huh.
the Mennonites pay taxes like everybody else.
Yes.
What the only place where sometimes they dispense, because when you import machinery for agriculture, there's a special rate. They call it a special development concession, whereby they grant things. And I think at the beginning that's what they got. But what they have been dispensed from in the agreement, I have a copy of the agreement, is that they are not to join the army, the Belize army, and they are not to swear with the Bible at any court. Those are the only two dispensations that they are given. So they act just like any other Belizean except those two things, which government agreed to give them that privilege, no? Not to swear with the Bible, and they have their own prayer that they swear with, and not to join the Belize Defense Force. Thank you very much.
And that swearing, we don't migrate away from that. You could either have your secular swearing in or your Bible. The court allows you
And
to.
the thing with the Belize Defense
court
Force,
allows you to make your choice.
And the thing with the Belize,
We don't have a
Defense
drafting
Force,
system.
Exactly.
So-
So that does apply.
No.
And if a Mennonite said, "I want to join the BDF,"
Well,
they could join.
They could join.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So
there's no
that's not
exemption.
here or there.
Yeah,
at this,
yeah. So
at
two
this
of
point in
those
time.
things done overcome already. That is not a plus or anything abnormal. Because right now, if I go to court and I don't want to swear in the Bible, they allow me alternative.
But the common thread here is that we, and I'm saying we, I don't want to say all Belizeans, but we have a group or a segment of our Belizean makeup that has an issue with any group that differs or defends itself, or behaves differently because of their culture, because of their beliefs and their traditions. Look at the issues we're having with the Mayans, with this whole land tenure. And if you look back historically, the Mayans, where we are is a result of decisions made by government, is that? I mean, you would remember historically when logging was logging grants were given to these Malaysian companies in the 90s.
93 to 98 government.
Yes, and these were huge tracts of land. And then after that, the permit to drill again. And the Mayans began saying, wait, hold on, these are our traditional lands. Maybe at that time, government should have said, well, we don't believe in traditional lands anymore. This is state land, but no, the Mayans. So historically, the Mayans have begun to defend themselves, right?
Well, the government did say they
Yes.
don't believe in it. That's why they end up in
Right.
court.
That's right. Then the Mayans to defend themselves. Right.
They end up in court to get the court to
And the
make
court-
a declaration.
Exactly.
And
It's a result of how, a group of people who may think a little differently from the rest of us decide this is the way we are going to defend ourselves and keep our property. And now we're having different groups are wanting.
See, for me,
develop the
say
same trend.
that is where we get lost in the weeds because we want to get into people's culture as opposed to look at the economic growth.
Yeah.
We get confused with that. And
we get emotionally
Right.
conflicting. Hello, Carlo. Good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
I'd like to put this question not to Ernesto because he avoided it the last time, but to the economists in the room. Mr. Troy, do the Mennonites pay Social Security? Yes or no?
Yes.
Did you say yes?
Yes.
Well, you asked me the question. They pay Social Security. You have to pay for the worker.
We have
The
to
law-
pay-
the
we
law-
pay tax.
I did not say the workers for themselves.
They're self-employed.
You pay if you want.
No. They employ people.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they do pay. We didn't avoid the question
They do not
the
pay
last
for
time.
Mennonite workers. You are the expert, Mr. Troy. Check it out.
If they pay for what?
You just had a former politician saying something which is not totally true.
That's not first time. Are you lucky? It was totally
Well,
true.
what's the point? I'm trying to understand your point.
The point he's making
My
is
point is that they are like a little country within our country. And they are exempted from many things. And since he has, I just told you, well, why is it they are exempted from paying?
If I own my
Social
caller, if
Security?
I own my business, and I
I
feel
was expecting the answer from Mr. Troy because you have already last 2 weeks given me your opinion.
yes, if I own my
don't know,
business, the law says I can pay for myself if I want to access the Social Security
That
benefit.
caught me in my business.
But I don't have the right to not pay for my workers. I
Right.
have to pay. I have to do the deduction, and I have to pay.
If you have a mechanic shop and you have Mennonites employed,
what he's
No.
what he's getting at.
I know they get paid nothing. You know they get paid nothing. That question right now that you're saying, if I employ a Mennonite, I am obliged to pay Social Security for that Mennonite.
Yes.
I am obliged.
But he's saying that they don't.
That is not happening.
That's what he's saying.
I
That
am
because if the person is a Mennonite, let's say a Mennonite company has two drivers. They have a Mennonite driver from the community and a Belizean driver.
That
They will
is
pay
not
the
happening.
Social Security for the Belizean driver, but they don't pay Social Security for the Mennonite
But
driver.
that is illegal. It is wrong. But it's up to the Mennonite driver now to go and say, I want my Social Security to be paid
right.
because because you have a responsibility to protect yourself as the employee. So you must know your rights. If that Mennonite buys into that concept that you don't have to pay social because the community will take care of me or whatever plan they have for him, that's a different story. But the law doesn't say that you are exempt from not paying Social
right.
Security for that employee. The law is clear. The law says that if I
Once
employ
you
you
hire
and you work
somebody-
more than 24 hours a week, I am obliged to pay the Social Security for you based on the bandwidth that you're in.
And I suspect Social Security looks into that. Because they do go check see if they're paying.
You could stay there and suggest that.
Well, that's what the law is.
Mr.
Well, it's a
Mr.
good thing
Troy,
you brought
I think
it up.
you need
Social
to read-
Security, they
I
listen.
think you need, 1 second, Ernest, Mr. Troy, you need to read the Mennonite Agreement of 1957 that Don Hector referred to. Read the Mennonite Agreement.
Well, Don Hector must have missed one then, because remember back then you could not have had anything about Social Security
it
because
didn't exist.
Social Security didn't exist.
Check it out.
Social Security didn't
for the
exist.
truth, right? So please check it out.
All right. Okay.
I'm gone.
Thank you. Social Security didn't exist until 1981. So in 1958 there could not have been even a semblance of discussion about paying Social Security. So that must be a distortion. Don Hector, if we take him at his word, he says there were two areas that he felt there wasn't even a BDF then. There were volunteer guards. We didn't even had something near BDF.
We don't have
And
the
I
jobs, so
already
that's
said
moot.
that even the courts now recognize that not everybody are Christians, and therefore putting their hands on the Bible is anti certain belief, and so they have adjusted accordingly. So that's muted as well. But the law says that if I employ you and you work more than 24 hours a week, I am obliged by law to pay Social Security based on how the structure is right now, that you pay 1.6 and I pay 5.6 as the employer. That would be our last call.
Yeah, we'll take our last call.
Yeah, it should have been last.
Hello, caller. Good morning.
Yeah. Good morning. Darson again. I'm glad that Mr. Hector Kuman and mentioned certain things, and your action just now if there was any other farmer who do things besides the Mennonites. But they mainly talk about tomatoes and eggs. But you might get no break for Kumakaitan, but I want to answer this. Who may feed the Creole people and the Belizean people in general with rice, corn, and beans, beef, chicken, and turkey? Where they may come from? Do you ever remember going down to the boat there for tree when they're going to bring turkey, fowl, hog, and cow and rice on them boat and barge? That was before the Mennonite. I want to go back. I like this discussion, and it's not an argument. I like this discussion because I talk about agriculture. That's my thing. I talk about politics, but then politics and money politics, so I'm not getting at that, right? But when you go next break, I want to talk about the truth about what Ghana in those history with the Belizean people and who will produce food for we.
Maybe never enough. Maybe never enough for the whole country. And I figure because let me read this from the agreement. The agreement. It said the agreement aimed to decrease Belize's economic dependence on surrounding nations and establish a commercial agricultural sector. That means we never had an agricultural sector when they came.
Okay, so
they figured that they had the wherewithal to develop that agricultural sector. So what Mr. Das is saying that we, in his opinion, we had an agricultural sector.
Yes. Yes.
But the Mennonites got that special agreement for that. It says the agreement granted the Mennonites privileges such as running their own churches and schools, exemption from making customary immigration deposits, protection of life and property, and the right to administer and invest estates. The Mennonites agreed to bring capital investment in cash and kind amounting to $500,000 and produce food for local consumption and export markets. So at that time, the Belizean government did not see that we had a strong agricultural sector, and they thought the Mennonites would build that, which they have.
Well,
so admitting we didn't have a strong agricultural sector.
They found a situation that an opportunity that existed and a win-win situation, both for themselves as a community and for the country. They have been able to use that platform, starting mainly with the agricultural sector, and have become a totally commercial unit.
Because they have made that very, very
It's like Amazon
successful.
started out selling books.
So we did not have the wherewithal to create that agricultural
Well, that's an
sector.
admittance. That's an admittance that the authorities have admitted that
at that time we didn't have it.
That's what.
And these people had we just didn't have it our own to do.
And obviously they believed that they had the sort of know-how, because it wasn't so much technology at that time, but maybe the tenacity and the know-how to be able to do expansion.
We probably didn't have it, and we still don't have it.
Well, some people will not accept that.
That's the point.
They will not accept that, because if you go back to the caller just now, his position was we were doing better. We were bringing things for produce, and we were doing all of these things. And I'm saying that the society has shifted somewhat, because if you look at where we were before, yes, our market was downtown in terms of urban city. That was being
a
hub
we grew up with that. We had I don't recall. I mean, we had rice and things like that, but just basic consumption.
Yeah, I used to go to market and pick up the sack of rice.
These people came and said we could develop the agricultural sector.
Well, the poultry, look at the poultry sector right now, in the sense that you can go and the chicken is ready-made. You know, you used to have to go and have your backyard, range fowl and different things, but those things require hard work. You have to put in some work.
So you're right. Yeah, according to the agreement, we kind of at that time figured we didn't have the wherewithal to develop such a massive agricultural sector. The agreement aimed to decrease Belize's economic dependence on surrounding nations and establish a commercial
Hector gave you two examples.
sector.
He gave you tomato and eggs that we used to fly into Belize from the United States. he's saying that those
We
people
used to
start to
buy
produce
everything in cans.
that. Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, well, we gotta go.
We gotta go.
Yeah, it's a minute.
Do what you do best.
It's a minute after 9, and I think the discussion was very helpful and fruitful, and we trust that, you know, wherever you are throughout the length and breadth of this beautiful jewel of ours, we're glad that you could join us, and we hope that the discussion was informative and engaging. Those of you in the diaspora who are streaming, certainly glad you could join us. Want to thank Karen for doing a good job as usual on Love FM this morning, as well as reading the weather for you, Ernesto. And
That's
we
right.
want to thank our master control operator, William Usher, Richard Herbert, for producing the show, along with Manuela Ayuso, and Andrew Jones for streaming. You won 96, well, congratulations. Remember, you could try again tonight. And of course, Ernesto,
Well, before you go, I just want to say, if your team won, you know, the games
Oh, the World
yesterday,
Cup?
I know that it's what you call bittersweet victories. You know, first with the Mexicans and the English. They say the Mexicans will really behave badly, you know. And then we had this whole political debacle with the U.S. and
Donald Trump.
No, yeah.
And
Belgium.
And Belgium.
And Belgium won.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
it's a redemption showed up. And I think the largest group of fan base for a team in Belize is Argentina. If I must say Argentina.
I see William had on his Messi shirt.
He put on the underwear, everything for Argentina today. You know.
Yes, indeed. Somebody just said once you're a Mennonite, you do not pay social security. I think we accept that premise, and we said that that's a right, your choice. As the individual, because the law allows that they should pay it for you. But if you accept that position, but clearly
so
once you
saying
work over 24 hours, you're obliged to pay.
No, but is the
Social
person
Security.
saying that
If you're a Mennonite,
Social Security will not go? If you're a Mennonite, that's what
they say,
it's a Mennonite.
That's what they're saying. I'm like I said, that agreement will never speak to that because there was no social security at that time.
Yeah.
Of course, we know you have choices where you get your information and your entertainment and your engagements from, and we're always glad when you choose love.
That's right. Take care of yourself and be
Because
kind to somebody today.
Belize and beyond.
Thanks
for choosing love.
Bye-bye.
Good morning, Belize, and good morning. I say good morning, Belize, and good morning. And how are you this morning?
Get up every morning, life, go to work and get your life. Get up every morning, life, go to work and